Broadcast for shooters, hunters, and gun enthusiasts. This is the Firearms Radio Network. The bandwidth for this episode of Gun Guy Radio is sponsored by Patriot Patch Company. PatriotPatch.co.
Welcome to episode 251 of Gun Guy Radio. This is the podcast that shines a positive light on the firearms lifestyle. I'm your host, Jake Challen, with co-host Zach Carlson. This is your dose of positive firearms talk without the politics. Hey, Zach.
Hey, 251. We're like quarter centurions now.
Yeah, we're in the new year 2021.
Yeah, first podcast of the new year.
It doesn't feel new, so, did you buy any guns yet this year?
Crap. This year? No. I almost did, though. I went to, of all places, I went to BuyMart. Do you guys have BuyMarts out there?
No. Isn't that the store from the Evil Dead? Isn't that BuyMart? Isn't that the skit in the Evil Dead movie?
I've never seen Evil Dead. So BuyMart is just like a miniature Walmart, but it's a membership club. So you have to have this little card that gets you in to the door. Yeah, you pay like a $5 unlimited lifetime membership. I don't know why it's a membership club, but it is.
So it's like a baby version of Costco.
Yeah, like it reminds me of, you remember the old Walmarts before Supercenters? So it's like an old Walmart.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a membership club.
That's weird.
It's like the worst of both worlds, but yeah. Yeah, it's like a little regional. They like serve the smaller communities, and stuff like that. But anyways, I went there because I wanted to get a sling for my hunting rifle, and I saw one at Cabela's, and I just didn't get it, and Cabela's is too far to drive away to get it, so I just went over to BuyMart, and they had one, but they had some handguns. I was surprised to see the state of handguns. And, well, ammo, we talked about, I think, last episode, and they had one box of 38 Special plus P. I actually almost bought it, but I really don't need it. And they had like one box of 45 ACP, but then there was a bunch of 22 ammo, like bulk, the big bricks of 22 ammo. I was really shocked. And they had a bunch of 5.78 by 28 ammo too, which is weird.
Yeah. Well, aren't there new 5.7 guns coming on the market now?
Yeah, I guess the Ruger 5.7 was,
what about
fairly recently.
The new Kel-Tec? Did you see the new Kel-Tec that takes P90 mags or something crazy like that?
Is that real, or was that just like a Photoshop thing?
I have no idea. Who knows it?
Because it was a P90-ish looking gun, but I didn't understand how you got the mag out, because it looked like it was covering the top when I saw it. So I don't know. It was
probably
open.
Probably totally fake, but how can you tell with Kel-Tec? I mean,
yeah, well, if you went by how many they ship to how many they show, everything looks like Photoshop with Kel-Tec, but
right.
But they had some ammo. I was really surprised. I almost bought some 22 bulk, but I've got so much 22 that I'd feel bad stealing it from people.
How much was it? Decent prices or what?
It was like $44, but I think it was a brick of, was it 500 or might have been more than that? It was one of those, it looked like a big box. It wasn't just the small boxes. I didn't get it. I didn't look that close because I didn't need it, but it was Federal bulk in a blue box. And, it was like $45 or something like that. So it's there.
Zach's so covered
up.
Walked
up behind.
Sorry. Zach's so covered up with ammo that he goes home and swims in his bathtub of 22 LR doing backstrokes.
I could. I've got a lot. Well, when you buy a machine gun for it, you're like, oh, I need some ammo because this goes through fast. But it's, thankfully we're in the winter where it's not very fun to shoot. So I'm not shooting very much right now. But then a guy came up behind me in the aisle or in the lane, and he's like, talked to the lady behind the counter. He's like, "This is all the ammo you guys got?" And I'm like, "Where have you been?" Like, that was like, that's a jerkish thing to say. Like, what? Do you think anybody's going to have that much more ammo than this? Like, you should count your lucky stars. They even have this right now. This is impressive. I was looking at it like, wow, there's quite a bit of ammo here. Cause, half of their shelf was basically full of ammo still. And I was like, oh, that's pretty impressive. But,
wow.
But they had,
hope.
Yeah, maybe I think it's because it's a smaller town and stuff, but they had a Glock 19 Gen 5. And I was like, ooh, I actually want a Gen 5 19 again. And I was going to buy it, but I'm trying to hold out for the MOS version. And, that one was not an MOS. It had the forward cocking serrations, which was kind of nice, and it was, it was regular MAP pricing. They didn't jack it up. It was $539. It was sitting there ready to go. They had they had probably 10 handguns there. Like, and this is one of those ones, you remember the old Walmarts where there's like only one little display case, so, like that's it. It's not like they had shelves and shelves and it was empty. It was, they had their case full. So I thought it was pretty impressive. So I don't know, maybe it's not as bad, but yeah, if you go, I looked again on our distributors, just searching by handguns alone, and there was literally like 6 handguns available. It was just nothing. It's rough out there right now.
Is it a case of that nobody knows that BuyMart actually carries guns and ammo?
It very well could be, and we're in a town of 4,000 people, so that helps too.
Yeah.
I'm looking right now. Okay, this is the status update on pistols. With RSR, if you search by handguns that are in stock, you get 10 results, and 5 of those are Tactical Solutions Ruger pistol uppers, which they count as guns. So it's only half of a gun. There's 2 Sig Sauer P210s, which are the, $1,400 Target 9mm pistols. There's the standard and the Target version. There's a $1,400 Smith & Wesson Model 41 22 long rifle pistol. And then there's a Heritage Rough Rider. So that's the only one that's even well priced. That's 22. And then there's a MSRP of $5,500 EAA Witness Dominator 9mm. So you could get a 9mm right now, but it's like one of those race guns. $5,500 too. So
jeez,
I don't know who's buying those.
This kind of ties in with what I was looking at. There was a big gun auction here in South Dakota in the greater Sioux Falls area, a smaller town outside of Sioux Falls. Anyways, supposed to be this big giant gun auction, and it's and you can bid online and everything. I think you could actually go in person too, the more I look at it. But it just ended, so I opened up some tabs here with what some stuff ended at. And so
is this private collection or something, or where do these guns come from?
Just a bunch of different consigners, is all it says. I don't know that's even really businesses selling, just a big gun auction. I'm not sure actually where they all came from. So first up we have a DPMS Panther and 243. For this sold for $2,550. And
this is not a charity auction, right? This is not like,
well, I mean, somebody's getting helped out in need here, I guess. But no, it's not. It's not for a good cause or anything. And like, you got to think the greater Sioux Falls area, it's less than 1 million people. The whole state don't even have 1 million people. So this is like almost the size of Rockford, a little bit bigger than Rockford, Illinois, size of a metro area. And so there's not that many people. So next we have a Smith & Wesson 22 caliber, they're cheap 22 caliber pistols, I think these normally sell for like 200 or less new, don't they? The cheap, they're the
is it semi-automatic or?
They're the funky looking semi-automatic Smith & Wessons have made forever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this went for $500. And all these listings, whoever did this up was definitely a gun person, because all of them say clips instead of magazines. Every single one of them. So that's pretty funny. And then we have some PMags. Here's a lot that went for $30 a PMag. Here's a lot that went for
what? Yeah. You could buy them brand new from like Palmetto State Armor right now for $10 a piece.
10 PMags in this lot went for $300 total. All right, moving on to a Sega 12. Remember the Sega 12s? Remember the good old days of buying those out of the gun magazine or the gun catalogs? What could you get one of those for? And like the
Sega 12s, one Sega 12's like $500, but then if you got like a Red Jacket Firearms version of it, it was more expensive. Yeah. But that was back when that was popular.
So this is just a cheap version of it, whatever. Made in Russia. So $1,150 for this one.
Okay. Is it being converted, or does it still look like a stock shotgun? You know, you had to do conversions on them to make them look like AKs. When they came over, they looked like rifles.
No, this is a sporterized, or whatever you call it. This still has a stupid long barrel on it without any break, and yeah. Okay.
So $1,100.
So this is pretty good. I bet you wish you would have bid on this one, Zach. It's a Brico Arms Jennings 9mm with an Uncle Mike's holster. This went for a solid $270.
Jeez. What is going on with you people there? Is it, do they not know like Gunbroker or like regular places to buy guns?
Okay, here's another DPMS Panther, and there's a lot of DPMS Panthers on here. That must have been big. This one sold for $1,150.
What caliber is that one? Another 243?
That's a 5.56.
Oh,
and then
so it's an evil gun.
Then here's a Ruger Charger, and it's the old man version from the 90s with the bipod and everything. This one went for $775.
Jeez! I should have sold mine for that. I think they were only worth like $300 when they were new or something like that.
Well, and do I have the? Oh, one more tab. Let's see here.
That's insane.
So
I wonder if it's like somebody that just died or something and is selling a bunch of old guns, or
no, it's not an estate sale. It was multiple people selling.
Weird.
It's like their New Year gun auction is what they called it. So
how made you buy?
So new in box Ruger 1022. Guess how much?
Well, it should be like $200.
Just a plain Ruger 1022, $450.
Yeah. How much? $450?
Yep, $450.
That's insane. I bought one of those for $169, brand new.
Yeah. But, there was other stuff on here that didn't go as high as I thought it would. There was a couple Colt ARs that both of those went for under $1,000 or right around $1,000. I'm like, I thought all the old FUDs were paying like $2,500 for anything that said Colt on it. But
the last gun show that I went to, yeah, there was definitely Colts there for $5,000. And you're like, who's paying $5,000 for an old Colt? That's ridiculous. So how many did you buy?
None. I didn't buy a single one. I looked through it. There was actually some antique Daisy BB guns that looked really cool and only went for like $20 or $30. I'm like, dang it. I would have bought those if I'd known they were on here. Just because it'd be a cool collector's piece wall hanger or something. So I don't know what's going on. I think people are panicked and just buying whatever by looking at this, because there's other stuff on here that wasn't super crazy, and there's just a ton of like hunting stuff too that went for seemingly the normal prices.
Yeah, I don't think people are panicked about bolt action rifles at this point, but
ammo. Holy crap, ammo at these auctions that are like farm and equipment auctions that have, plows and stuff. And then they have lots of, cause it was in a state or something. Then they'll have some ammo thrown in, just, random household stuff. And there happens to be ammo and a few guns. And I've seen multiple auctions like this in the last couple months where the ammo is just going for insane prices, even hunting ammo. It's just nuts what it's going for. And
I don't get it. I mean, that's like, there's got to be a limit to what people will pay, isn't there? Like,
yeah, I'm just thinking, once all this, I don't know, if this all goes away at some point, I got to think we're going to have a bunch of estate auctions in like a 10, 20 year period of time that is just nothing but lots and lots of ammo that people had bought up and hoarded and never shot. Cause people aren't shooting this ammo,
No, I've seen those memes where it's just like the fat hairy guy in a wheelchair and is like standing next to rolling next to a pallet of ammo and just like, better get another one for the apocalypse.
Right. I think that's a lot of it. And
I guess it makes me want to peel off a few thousand rounds and sell it for a huge profit and take that money and buy something good with it. But
right.
It's a little scary because you never know when you're going to be able to get more.
I don't know. It's pretty crazy.
I know there's a lot of stuff going for crazy on Gunbroker and stuff, but I just don't get it. I mean, like it's not like they're not making more guns. Like as long as I guess I must be people just waiting for them to be banned. So they're trying to get them before a ban comes through or something. It makes sense, but
that's why I find it interesting being in like I'm in like literally the last state that would ban guns. Our state would put up a middle finger to the federal government if there was some kind of huge ban came through, especially with the governor we currently have. Anyways.
Oh, I can't remember the last time I recorded, but I've ordered a bunch of stuff. I've been waiting for, I've been putting in stock alerts on a lot of things, just trying to find them, and, T-Rex Arms came out with that one slick plate carrier, a couple weeks ago or whatever, and I missed the first wave because I hemmed and hawed, and I put it on the in-stock alert, and it finally came into stock again. And so I ordered one of those, and it should be delivered today. It's not before the show. So next show I'll have thoughts about how it is compared to my other one. But so I got that because I have an extra set of plates laying around. One downside is they only have 3 colors. It's black, tan, or green. They don't have any multicam or anything. So it won't match, but so I won't be totally operator, but it is what it is.
You won't match? What?
I know. I mean, jeez. Should I even just give up at that point then, right? If I don't match.
No, you don't give up. You run to your BuyMart and you get that Krylon and you get those, don't you even have some stencils to land stuff? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I do have some vinyl stencils. Yeah, I could do that. So I got that, and I also ordered, before, I think we talked about it, I got their belt system, their outside belt, and I had it started to get set it up, and it's super stiff. And I found the issue with, most of those Cobra buckle belts that we've got, they have the flap with Velcro that you tension it and then Velcro it to itself. Well, those work great for a lot of things, but when you try to weave it in and out of an outer belt, that Velcro gets in the way. So it's kind of a pain because you need to tuck that in on the flap instead of just, because it's already, it's obscured by the slits in the outer belt. So I broke down and I bought T-Rex's inner belt for their outer belt too. So they use just like a tri-glide, so there's no Velcro. So I just got that today. So I'm going to, after the record, I'm going to be reconfiguring all my belts basically and going that one as my primary one because it's super stiff. So hopefully I like that one and I can kind of reshuffle everything else. But, so far I like that stuff. The T-Rex stuff is actually pretty decent for what it is. So I'm happy with that. And then I've been waiting on, I ordered, so, I have those Surefire Scout lights on my carbines. They're just like a 1500 lumen, Scout body lights. And I didn't have, switches for them before. So the rail mount switches, I had the ones that you had to zip tie on, but they make a rail mount switch that has like a little rubber Picatinny that you can just clamp it over the Picatinny rail and it stays where you want it. And finally the distributors came in with those switches. So I bought 2 of the switches, but they didn't have the caps that you need to plug them into the end of the flashlight, where you unscrew the regular cap, put the one that has a little jack for the plug on it. Well, then it's been on my wish list forever at, our distributor and hasn't come in. So I saw that it was available at T-Rex Arms. So I ordered it there and that came in today. So I got that going and I've been waiting for a Law Tactical folder to come into stock. I've got in-stock alerts like all over the place, and I was just about ready to just order it from Brownells. The one thing I didn't like about Brownells, from what I remember, maybe it's not true, but I thought that they charge your card right when it's back ordered and then just ship it when they get it. Because I'm pretty sure I had another thing back ordered before and I thought they charged my card. Maybe they don't, but I was kind of holding off on doing that. They only do the stock status alert when it's not available for back order. Otherwise, there's not that option when you're on their page.
Oh,
I would have just done an in-stock notification, but they didn't have that choice. So I got an email from Weapon Outfitters, which is a kind of a local-ish place over here out by Seattle. And they had like a New Year's Eve sale, and I was like, "Oh, let me see if there's anything I want there." Lo and behold, he had a Law Tactical folder in stock. So with the discount and everything, it was like $235 shipped. I'm like, I can't beat that. It was more than that, just regular.
$235. Now, weren't you inundated with all the Facebook ads for the Law Tactical folders? I do that in air quotes. And they even used the Brownells video to showcase these folders. And they're only like $20 or something, right?
I know. I should get one of those. I mean, that would look really good on my, $2,000 Knight's Armament rifle. So I had to buy one because with that bag I bought that I don't know if we talked about it. I think we did. The Vertex big, heavy, huge bag that, houses my plate carrier and everything. And it's got that little hidden channel where you put the rifle.
Yeah. The
stock sticks out. I can either take the suppressor off and leave it off and then put that on after I pull it out, or fold the stock and then it'll all fit in there straight. So I finally got that coming. So hopefully that ships and hopefully it works okay. It's a little confusing because, Law Tactical says that you need a PWS bolt carrier extension adapter for PWS rifles, but they're out of stock of them right now. So I'm like, I don't know if the hole size is different or whatever. So I took my carrier and a regular carrier and I measured them with Harbor Freight calipers that are always accurate. And, it only showed 10 thou difference. So I'm just going to wait till the thing shows up. And if I have to get the adapter, I'll get it. But it seems like it should work. So I'll give it a shot.
Now, see, in a scenario, I think you would want to have the suppressor off. So when you pull out the rifle, you're like, oh my God. And then you put your finger to your lips and go, and then screw on the suppressor.
I still like the, call an ambulance, but not for me. Anyways, yeah. So that's kind of, I'm just upgrading everything. I have this weird urge to build another AR-15, but I pulled all my ARs out yesterday and I think I have 4 right now. And I'm like, do I really need a 5th? No, probably not. But I kind of want one. I want one with an old school quad rail, like a legit quad rail. I have no idea why. But I just think it would be cool, like a retro-ish
cheese grater, the grate.
Yeah, just like a full-on.
Totally,
like a
totally exfoliates your hands when you use it.
Yeah, but then you could just bolt on those little covers to make it all smooth again. But then you get all the weight of a quad rail. Yeah, I don't know. I think.
Why don't you just put a boat anchor on the front of another one, and you'll have the same feeling
and get the same. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. And then I think I need to send all the 2 of my suppressors that are I have those, Rex Silentium ones that are, they do that kind of gold finish on them, the heat treated finish. It doesn't look right on my hunting rifle with everything else being black. And then I just like this big gold, tube on the end. So I'm going to send that off for Cerakote, I think this week, get it blackened.
Cool. So
anything going on your side?
So like a flat black on that?
Yeah, just a satiny black, just to match the barrel. Just make it simple.
As far as guns, not really anything else going on in my world. Well, I did have the thought, as far as like the gun world and stuff, we need to start the Cynical Prepper podcast or the Pessimistic Prepper something. Because more and more I think about it, the more I'm like kind of like becoming more like Zach here and his cynicism towards anything prepping. Like, why even bother? What's the point?
Yeah, just a rove gang of marauders will just take it from you.
Well, no. See, I think here's the deal. You go over all these really interesting prepper ideas and mindsets in like Arsenal. And you pick a subject each week and, say it's solar power or something like that. And you go over it in detail. And at the end of the show, you're like, well, actually, this is how none of this is actually going to work in a, when the crap hits the fan situation and you're all going to die. And basically every episode ends like that, where we unpack how, this is all really great, maybe on paper, but when it really comes down to it, it's really not going to work.
So we basically need to call the podcast, Well, Actually.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's so many things that, like, a lot of people have been doing solar the last year or two, especially this year. I've seen a lot of people doing solar. I know people doing solar. And part of that is because there's been big tax rebates on putting solar in. And like this is the last year of that, but last year and the year before, you could get a really big tax rebate on solar installations. And so, but like with solar, I'm just like, man, the batteries just kill you. The battery cost on solar is just insane. And then you have to replace them every 10, 15. I know some of them say like 20 years, but no way. Like I've had car batteries that have said good for 10 years and they've lasted 2. So I've been down this road with batteries. I know they don't really last that long. So with solar, the batteries just, that's until we get cheaper and better batteries and better efficiency panels. I still don't see that solar is really the way to go as far as self-sufficiency goes. And it's definitely not as far as a prepper like EMP. If you're going down that whole road, like forget solar.
If you're worried about EMPs, you might as well just give up at this point. Like life will not be worth living if no electronics exists.
Well, I think it really depends on your climate too. Like if you're in, where I'm at, generating electricity, and generating heat, it will be a real issue. And if you're in like Florida Everglades, like not having air conditioning will be the death of you. I guarantee it. So you need to be in like someplace real temperate year round. Like, I don't know, like California. Maybe California is the ultimate place if you're the ultimate prepper. I mean, you can't have guns, but at least the climate won't kill you.
No, you just can't be caught with guns. That's the two different things.
Oh, yeah.
You can have all the guns you want in California. You just can't be caught with them.
You're right about that. Well, it might be the perfect place because no one else has guns. And so when everything goes to hell, then you do have guns, even though you're not supposed to, right?
Well, here's a weird question about solar. If the sun is bright and the sun lights up our Earth, why is space not light? Why is space dark?
There's nothing for it to reflect off of.
Is that what it is?
Well, yeah.
I have no idea. It seems like you would see like this big shining beam coming off the sun.
Well, you do if you're looking at the sun. If you're in space and the sun, like you can get fried in space looking at the sun because there's no barriers between you and the sun.
Maybe I should have prepared that question before just letting it go. Huh. Well, yeah. Yeah, I guess the prepping thing for me is, it makes sense if you want to do it, but it's just not for me.
Well, for me, like so many things make sense, but like if you come down to a really bad situation where like the grid's not coming back online and there's no government and stuff like that, then like so many of these things you do to prep go out the window too, because it somewhat relies on whether it's replenishment at some point. Like, sure, I have 2,000 gallon LP tanks here, but they can only last me, if I stretch it out, maybe a couple of years. And then what? Then I go to wood. I have wood stoves and stuff. So, I mean, I have avenues of generating heat and stuff, but then, you go down the electricity. I don't know. I mean, your batteries, no matter what you're doing, only last so long. And if you're generating any kind of power, and trying to store it, you're just up a creek without batteries. And like so many of these prepping shows, we started watching Building Off Grid, and this Building Off Grid show, it doesn't have hosts and stuff that come help you build off grid. It's just follows a different family or couple or whatever every episode and seeing how they build off grid. And so there's no outside influence or funding. It's just following like what these random people are doing to build off grid, quote unquote. And so that's pretty interesting. And it's pretty interesting how bad a lot of them are. And maybe that's why I'm more and more cynical. Like several of them, like their solar setups consist of just a couple used panels and like these batteries they look like they got out of a forklift, and like some I think they actually did.
They probably would have, yeah.
And so I'm like, how long is that gonna last you? And like, can you actually run everything you want to run off of that? I don't think you can. I really think it's really misleading, a lot of this solar stuff, especially when you watch people try to execute it with so few panels and battery systems. And then going other directions like geothermal and everything, like that sounds good to an extent, but like this couple built a geothermal home in Colorado and they weren't going to put any sources of heat or air conditioning in it. And I'm like, no sources of heat. Like, are you crazy? Like once that gets too cold, geothermal can only generate a certain amount. And once it drops below a certain temperature, you can never bring it back up without artificially bringing it back up, whether it's through gas, electric, or wood. And like they didn't even put a wood stove in their place. I'm like, if you have like a window break or a door get left open in the winter, you can never, I mean, all your pipes are going to freeze. There's no recovering from that unless you have a solid heat source that can heat up the house in a matter of minutes for that.
And you're saying that's because the geothermal is a constant temperature no matter what the outside temperature is. But then if you artificially cool it by leaving the door open or whatever, it's too much for the single temperature to overcome that change. Yeah,
my understanding, it has to have like a certain baseline, and I don't have this number in my head, but a certain baseline temperature of like,
in the 50s?
I'll throw out 50 degrees, sure. A certain baseline that if it falls below that, there's no bringing that temperature back up to that baseline through geothermal alone. Because I looked into it extensively doing it at our place and stuff, and like as soon as I figured that out, I'm like, you're just so screwed. Like if you go on vacation and for whatever reason your house temperature drops below that threshold and you're not there to kick another heat source on, you're just totally screwed.
I mean, couldn't you set just a thermostat to a gas heater that kicks on if it hits below that threshold?
Yeah. You know what? That's a good point. You could do something like that. And you could have
power to do that though.
You could have other fail safes, but like these people are going completely nothing. Like they built their walls 2 feet wide, and completely, like their R factor was insane for insulation. And like they brought a guy in to like, measure the vacuum on the house to see how sealed it was. And like the first time he came in, he's like, no, this isn't going to work. You're getting there, but it's not going to work for a completely passive geothermal home. You got to get better than this. So they had to go find every little air leak anywhere and seal it up. And I got to think over time, the house settling and stuff,
yeah,
you're going to have cracks in this tape and this caulk. And like these people use mostly tape too, which I'm not really sold that that's going to be a forever thing, for sealing stuff up. And so over time, I got to think you're going to lose that vacuum, and then they're going to end up installing a furnace or something is what I'm thinking.
And I thought you didn't want your house 100% sealed like that anyways, because then it starts to like be dank or whatever, you know?
Well, that was my thought, is you're going to have super big problems with mold potentially, you know, because if you get humidity built up there anyway, then you can't get it out. It's trapped in there.
Mm-hmm. There's not enough airflow to cool it and dry it out.
So tune in next week for how your prepping adventure is going to fail with Zach and Jay.
So really you just need like an RV, and then you could just roam around the world to find the next source of power.
That's right. So you need a old school mechanical Cummins powered RV that's EMP proof. That's a diesel, so you can, you can scavenge and it'll last a long time. Yeah, I like it.
Well, sounds like you just need to get like a deuce and a half and take the bed off and put a big RV bed on the back of it.
Oh, those deuce and a halves are so, I really don't see why they still sell for so much money. I just saw some at an auction here and they were going for good money still. I'm like, they're just like,
cause they're military tough.
They're a giant lawn ornament. Like, I don't get it. I really don't.
They're basically tractors. They're like farm implements at best.
That you can't use as a farm implement. Yeah.
What has a PTO on it, doesn't it?
Well, some do, but I don't know. I mean,
and they supposedly they run on anything, right? You can put vegetable oil in there and burn it, and like they supposedly are just a super.
Can they?
Forgiving on fuel surface. Yeah. That's the multi-fuel engines. Yeah, you could put like ATF transmission fluid in there. You could put diesel. You could put kerosene. It'll burn basically anything.
I mean, until you're to the level of like Back to the Future 2 where you're putting banana peels and beer cans in it to get it to run, you don't have the perfect apocalypse vehicle.
Well, the perfect apocalypse vehicle is a coffin. Just move on to the next life. We'll figure out what happens after this.
Well, on that uplifting note.
Well, I got a good thing. Well, actually, I don't know if it's good or not, but I put an order in, supposedly 8 weeks out, for an HK MP5.
What? A real one? Legit?
A real one.
What?
Yeah, legit MP5. The MP5K, so the shorter guy. Yeah, I'm excited.
Not the GSG 22 caliber clone?
No, real deal, 9mm from H&K factory. Yeah, like a real one. So
Well,
I'm excited.
Do they know
if
you're?
it comes in time?
Do they know you're just like this American civilian? Like, will they even sell that to you?
Yeah. No, I told them my name was Hans and I'm from the Dusseldorf police department. So now I have basically 8 weeks-ish to start sourcing folding stocks and vertical grips and all that kind of stuff for it. But yeah, I after I sold the Scorpion that I had, I was just like, it's time for a real deal one. No messing around now. So put the money aside and put the order in.
That's the real deal. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And I already want the full size one too, so I can go full John McClane and make like a Die Hard clone. But I'll get one first before I order a second one.
What's their big rifle? Their big, I think it's a 308 rifle that's got like the big rail with the big gap in the top of it.
Oh, what the hell is that thing called? It's SLR8 or SL8, something like that.
Oh, I don't remember. I'm going through the Stargates with the kids, watching the Stargate SG1 and Atlantis and stuff, and like the last couple seasons they start using that gun. I'm like, oh, I used to really like the looks of that gun.
Are you talking about G36? Yeah,
the G36, I think that's it, right?
Yeah, where it's got like the integrated handle and the optic is built into the handle. I think we're talking about this. Yeah, I think here. I'm going to put it in the show notes here.
Yeah.
I linked to a compact one, but same idea.
Not the compact one though. The big, I think the big one has a look. And I can't remember if I ever played with one of these at like a SHOT Show. Like, were they ever for sale here? Are they for sale here?
I don't think so, because they're not on the civilian site. I had to go to the HK military site to even see it, so I'm assuming not.
I mean, I
think there's guys out there that make clones.
They're probably really stupid. I'd probably hate it, but like back in the day because like at the same time it was in those Stargates, it was in like a bunch of action movies. All of a sudden, I used to think it was the coolest thing.
Well, in a survival apocalypse situation, you want to get a gun that has a common magazine, and that's probably not the one you want then.
Yeah. No, don't. I bought a bunch of $35 PMags here, so I'm
yeah, exactly.
Good to go.
God, $30 PMags. What were they thinking? That makes no sense. Jeez.
They're new.
I think what you need.
They're new in package.
Is, well, yeah, great. You need a belt fed on a pintle mount to mount in that Chevy Love of yours.
Yeah, no.
Make it Americanized technical.
I need a Taliban technical, totally. Yeah.
But the US version, so like a crappy redneck Chevy Love.
Well, I mean, they would have had the Zuzu version of this over there as a technical. They would have had tons of those back in the day. Yeah. So yeah.
That's true.
I like it.
Any vehicle? What's the status on the vehicles today?
I haven't pulled.
Have you bought any new cars this year?
I no, and I didn't buy another one last year, even though I really wanted to. I did see one of the ones I wish I would have never sold. One has come up that is better than the one I had, and it's red, same color. It's got the 454 Vortec in it and everything. So it's a 90, late 90s, 3/4 ton GMC truck with the long box on it, extended cab long box. I don't know if I'm going to pull the trigger on it. When I first saw it, I'm like, oh, I have to buy it. I've been looking to get this truck again for so long. But now I'm like, I don't know. There's so many other things there.
As a truck or as a plow truck?
No, it'd be like my regular run to town, run to anywhere truck, just a cool truck.
I thought that's what the Chevy Love was for.
Well,
that was your around the town truck.
It needs some love first, so yeah.
Is it drivable?
It needs tires bad, but like I get to the point. This is a problem with me. I get to the point. I'm like, well, if I have to do tires on it, shouldn't I just like do a LS 4x4 conversion and lift it? It's so. So
that's I can follow your logic there. $400 for the tires or $4,000 worth of lift in an LS. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So that's kind of my dilemma with that.
Is it 4-wheel drive?
Right. No. Well, no. Mm.
So you need a new chassis too then, or all the suspension to change over to a 4x4.
So I think the way to go, or it seems like some guys will put Toyota axles on it because they're the right width already. I don't know. I haven't looked too much into the rabbit hole on that one. I just like looking out at my window at it in the snow. It's nice.
Why don't you just buy like a Chevy Blazer chassis and then drop it on?
Oh, that's so stupid. No, that's so redneck.
Oh, that's stupid. Okay.
That's so redneck. That's such butchery. No.
Okay, but what you're going to do is better. Okay.
Of course. So
yeah. So it's not redneck to buy a Tornado diesel, but
oh, dang, that Tornado diesel. I've thought about selling it, but I'm like, nah, I'll never see another one of it. I mean, it's a
That's
diesel.
Probably a good thing.
It's a front wheel drive, 2-door coupe diesel with a sunroof and real leather seats.
I forgot. Is that one EMP proof? That diesel?
It's everything proof. I mean, it's lasted this long. It's no, well, the Love might be. The Love has points on it, so, or it should have points on it. I haven't actually verified that, but it's still a year where they're still using points. So maybe, I didn't tell you the crazy story about picking up the Love where, so it's Facebook Marketplace, and like I actually had the guy's phone number too, but some younger guy and everything, and meeting him at his work, which was like a grain elevator in the small town of like, I don't know, small town like 500 people or something. And like I had in my head that, cause he said it was stored, he was storing it at friends and everything. And like the pictures he posted online were of it at this grain elevator. So I'm thinking it's right there in town or something, right by the grain elevator. But I get there and he has me follow him outside of town. I'm like, wait, what? And so like he's like, yeah, it's just like 3-4 miles down the road. I'm like, okay, whatever. And he is a real young kid, like, I don't know, 25 or something. But like we turn into this place. I'm like, is this a place? It's this like, it looks like just a trail. No mailbox, no anything. And it's like this creek, almost like a creek crossing and everything, and like off road. And you drive like a half mile back to this old farm that's completely abandoned and everything. And like, obviously no one's living there. I'm like, am I going to have a problem here? I'm like, I didn't think this looked like,
gun on you.
I didn't think this looked like the type of kid that would kill me or something, but maybe there's like a Children of the Corn situation going on here. I don't know.
Sacrifice.
But get back in there and I see the truck. I'm like, oh, thank it. Cause like, if I didn't see the truck once we go all the way back in there, I didn't know what I was going to do. Cause I've got, you got to remember, I'm pulling this trailer and it's not like I can just whip around and get out of there. Like there's no way out. It's like, you gotta just like keep following them because it's like a trail through this hayfield and trees and creek. And yeah, it was interesting.
You had to trailer this thing?
Well,
it didn't run?
No, I drove it up on the trailer. I drove it up and down my driveway and stuff. It runs. I could drive it to town probably, but I'm not gonna, this was over an hour away. You think I'm gonna get Jenny to load up all the kids and drive over an hour away to pick up a piece of junk? That's why I got the trailer and truck so I can go get junk myself and not inconvenience her anymore.
Any more than her, any more than the assault on her eyes when she looks at her yard. She posted a picture on Facebook of a snowstorm and said, "This is the nicest view I've had because I don't see my junk in the yard."
You guys just don't get it. I mean,
I get it. I understand it. I don't agree with it, but I understand it. Oh man. Well, I don't know how you use, Facebook Marketplace. Every time I look at the vehicles there, like there's no filters. Like I can't just like filter by make or model or anything unless I'm doing it wrong. I'm doing it on the mobile site. So maybe there's a problem, but.
Well, mobile's been kind of broken as far as that goes the last couple months, but it's somewhat fixed now. It's not super great, but it's not like too bad. Like I always sort it newest listed, most recent listed. Cause if there's any deals, anything unique coming up, that's how you're going to find it, is jumping on it right away.
So do you like search by like rusty or wife wants gone or junk or does not run?
No, I look at
those key searches.
I look at everything listed every day, a couple times a day.
Okay. Wow. You might have a problem.
Well, come on. You do it with guns if they had guns on there.
I don't want to pay the prices people want for guns.
I would do it with guns if guns are on there. It's really too bad there's not a marketplace for guns as good as Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace. I mean, there's arms list, but there's not that much on there in reality. And, it's just too bad Facebook doesn't allow guns because there'd be tons on there, tons and tons.
Yeah. There is like local forums and stuff. Like there's a place called Spokane Gun Trader that I used to go to, but just people are so unrealistic with what they have. Like they just want full retail for what they bought. It's like, that doesn't work that way. Like it's not collectible. You putting a Punisher skull on this doesn't make it worth more, like if anything, it's worth less.
Well, and that's the way with a lot of cars too, is people are just crazy with their prices. But lately I've been seeing some really great deals though, so I don't know, maybe people are wanting to liquidate now that it's winter.
Well, crap, I think we missed our first top sponsor slot there.
Oh no, Patriot Patch Company makes this episode possible. You can check out the Patch of the Month Club. We send you a unique patch, sticker, and artwork card to your mailbox every month. PatriotPatch.co. Also have tons of new designs coming out. We have limited edition drops we do every so often. And also we have some really cool signs you can put in your man cave and your gun room. Check it out, PatriotPatch.co. And if you're looking for website design, graphic design, head on over to hunterofdesign.com. Ryan Cross, hunterofdesign.com. And don't forget to check out Zach's YouTube, link in the show notes. Maybe he'll start doing some more videos if you watch. You have to do some videos on that H&K, man.
Yeah, it's funny. I was like, you get a deposit from YouTube every so often. You're like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I haven't done any videos in a while, but hey, I'll take some money. That's fine.
You can reach us at gunguyradio@gmail.com, and don't forget to check out all the other awesome shows here on the Firearms Radio Network. That's a wrap. Thank you, Zach.
Thanks. We'll see you in a couple weeks, probably.
This has been a production of the Firearms Radio Network. You can find more information at firearmsradio.tv.